So just bear with us 2 seconds, mate. Right, we are live. And once again, these weeks are flying past, aren't they? It's another Monday. Welcome to the MACKEM, CABBIE and the Big Davey Show. Davey, how are you?
Hello, hello everybody.
Family all alright?
Yeah, champion I.
That's all I want to hear. I'm just making sure that we are live at the minute. We should be. There's usually about a minute delay when it starts. Yes, we're on. CABBIE and the Big Davey Show. Davey, how are you?
Hello.
Just need to turn my volume down on here. Family all alright? Don't want to get that yet. We're all live. We're all up and running. That's good. Hello, Pixel Rich, first in the chat. Hello, Stephen Martin. Pixel Rich says, evening, folks. Thoughts from Saturday. I'll start in 2 words. Shell shocked. Hi, guys, says Stephen Martin. David Walker. Hi, CABBIE and Davey. Hello to you guys. Thanks for popping in so early. But yeah, Dave, it just seems pretty ironic that the fact one of the main subjects we were talking about on Friday was you saying, you know, he's got to get the formation right. What was it you saying? Playing 4-3-2-1 or one up front against the teams that are really struggling at the bottom of the league doesn't work.
Yeah. Well, listen, I've said this before and I've said it all the time on the radio and all my life. Formation and setup is massive in football. Doesn't matter who you're playing. You've got to set up and have the right formation for to go on and win games. Doesn't matter who you're playing. The worst team in the league or the best team in the league. And Saturday was the wrong formation for that match. End of.
I mean, surely you think LeBrie's experienced enough now to know that. I'm not a coach, neither are you. I mean,
well, I got a shot at his team selection. I did.
I think every other fan did. And you know, you wonder why my glass is half empty. It's because of this. I'm sick to death of every time the door opens and it's like, come on, the top 2 is inviting you in. Do you want to come into the party, Sunderland? And we just shut the door and say, no thanks, we didn't want it. I think what made me feel doubly more frustrated, and as well as the fans, was the fact with Sheffield United losing.
You can't deal with the results, CABBIE, can you?
No.
They're out of our hands. You just look after yourself. And we did not put us in the best position but to win 3 points on Saturday.
Dave?
He wanted to play 4-1-4-1, right, which is what he played. He could have played Dan Neil as the one in front of the defenders. He's played there all season. And at least Dan Neil looks forward, plays forward, and runs forward. The total opposite to the bloke that played.
The first 30 minutes of watching that game, I could tell straight away this is going to be one of them games. It felt it's like we're watching Sunderland and they were playing with their handbrakes on. We were that slow in possession. All we were doing was knocking it to the left and to the right. Every time we tried to shunt forward, Plymouth already had 12 players behind the ball. Because we were just that slow and laboured going forward. It was hard watching them.
When you play against low block, right? Mm-hmm. Let's look, if they want to come and play low block, that's their prerogative.
Yeah.
But if you're not playing against a low block, your midfield players have got to wrap that ball into the forwards. Bang it in there. If out of 5 times it only comes off once, that's better than passing it sideways to the wing, back to the centre off. Wrap it in there. Wrap it in.
But there was, because of the way we were set up, Davey, there was none of that.
No.
Do you know?
I mean, 4-1-4-1 can work, but you've got to wrap the ball into people up front, and you've got to get people forward.
Do you know the other games where we've had them side splitting passes that's released like even Meander and Isidore, and he leaves them for dead? Where was that on Saturday? Because I didn't see it once.
No.
I didn't see it once.
Yeah, I disagreed with Mark Wall tonight. He says that Sunderland played with 2 number 10s. They didn't.
No.
Job and Daniel were not 2 number 10s. They were 2 number 8s. And they never got forward.
No. There was nothing from the middle of the park in Sunderland. Did you
see Joe burst into that box once? I never. Not once.
I hardly heard his name mentioned, Davey.
He never made a run into the box. He never got on the end of anything. Nothing.
And
no, they set up wrong, Cabby. And I would think more of Labrie if he'd come out and said that, but he didn't. He doubled down and said about the process. You can just press a button and play the same post-match interview, can't you?
Well, there was a lot of Sunderland fans, stop with saying... Aye, a lot of Sunderland fans were saying, yeah.
What was the process of that performance?
A lot of the Sunderland fans were commenting on the social media and stuff after watching Regis Labrie's post-match interview. He was saying, stop playing the same tape, Regis. Take responsibility. You screwed up big time.
He did.
Do you know what I mean? I watched Gilesy and Steve. They do the vlogs, and Steve was spot on at full time. He was so frustrated. He was screaming at the top of the voice. He was gone. The fact it's not good enough. Blah blah blah. We're at home. Yeah. You know what I mean? We'll take the lead. We'll go defensive. I knew what was going to happen, and he just says, Regis Labrie, you effed up tonight. Sort it effing out now, and sort it out now. He said, and he walked off. I thought, aye.
He messed up with the formation, right? He messed up with the team selection, and we haven't gone on about the substitutes, which were absolutely baffling to me.
I don't know.
Baffling. Bringing Helder on, and him standing there saying 5-4-1, 5-4-1. He was telling everybody. I thought, what? We want to go and get the winner, not 5-4-1. I couldn't believe that, mate. And you've got forwards on the bench and doesn't bring them on, and we're at home against the bottom of the league team. Nah.
It's just making Sunderland look like a joke of a club, because it just seems to happen all the time when a team's got a not a very nice record, they've not won in 20 games away from home, or they've not scored in 10 away games from home, and this and that. They come to the stadium and we'll give you a free pass. It seems to happen all the time. Former managers get the better of us all the time, like of Alex Neil when he thrashed us with Stoke. Yeah. It's everything just seems to happen for Sunderland. And what annoys me...
for a fact West Brom's going to beat us when we play them in a few weeks, aren't they?
Well, I said on Total Sport today, I says we'll meet West Brom in the playoffs and they'll beat us on the playoffs from Mowbray's side. Because it's the Sunderland way. The Sunderland way. But... Look, what annoyed me was either they took them too lightly, because at times it felt more like an FA Cup match that we weren't interested in or were friendly. It was we don't need to turn up sort of today because we're playing the worst team in the league. And I can guarantee you now, you'll not see Plymouth for the rest of the season play like that.
No.
And that's what annoys me. They play like Real Madrid against Sunderland, and then they'll just capitulate for the rest. They'll probably lost the next 8 or 9 games. We'll play Sunderland. If they played like that every single game, they'd probably be mid-table, top 10.
But we give that game away. We give that game away by the way we started it. Another thing, two things. That's probably the best game Trey Young's had this season.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that was Meckem's worst game.
Can't understand why.
I didn't recognise Mackem, did you? He never won a ball, never won a header. He never, when he's in intercept danger, there was none of that, was there?
Why is that, Davey? Is it mental? Is it because the fact?
I don't think they were happy with the shape. They weren't but there was too many of them had off days, like Bellingham off day, Roberts stinking money.
Terrible.
Stinking.
I just think it comes down to the mental attitudes, the fact we're playing bottom of the league, we'll beat the.
Yeah, I think the manager had that attitude.
Christ, It's like, we needn't turn up with these, it's as if Plymouth are just going to roll over and let us steamroll them. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't matter what we'll do, Sunderland's going to win this easy.
I mean, they were saying, well, I can understand them wanting to get their game time into Sam Ed and all this, right? Get them in under 21s in. Not getting game time in massive games like we playing here.
What was Sam Ed lacking, Davey?
Well, I'm going to be honest here. To me, he is not a championship player because he wants too much time on the ball, and you didn't get that in the championship. He's used to playing in the continental leagues, the French leagues, wherever he plays, and you get more time on the ball, didn't you?
Yeah.
But you didn't in the championship because they're snapping at your heels all the time. He's given the ball away twice. It's cost us 2 goals in 2 games.
Yes.
It's just crazy.
But do you know what I mean with Sunderland though, right? It's like the first 5 minutes, 10 minutes, you can tell if the game's going to be uncomfortable or a massive struggle with Sunderland. And straight away...
The manager should have known what game it was going to be. He knew they were going to play with a low block. He knew that.
Aye.
So why have a sitting midfield player if they know they're not going to push forward? I can't say that. I can't get his logic of his team selection.
Lebris should have done more of his homework. You know, it was the worst thing to happen before the Sunderland game, right? Plymouth getting a thrashing at home 5-0 off Burnley. They're going to get a reaction from Plymouth after that. Sunderland didn't prepare for that. They didn't think, Plymouth got absolutely tanked. They'll have got a rollicking off their manager, right? Yeah. They'll have had a wake-up call at that. What time to prove a point? Come to Sunderland, where every smaller team loves to play at the Stadium of Light. We didn't prepare for that. We weren't ready for that.
No.
And if anything,
when you set up wrong from the start, Cabby, a lot of things can implode on you. And that happened on Saturday. All from the setup.
And I've
got something else on my mind.
Aye.
For the people. And you see if you can answer this one. But really, I want Regis to answer it.
Right.
Can you remember when we signed Enzo?
Why, aye.
They interviewed him, right, when we'd signed him. And I think it might have been Nick Barnes said, "Oh, where does he play?" He says, "Oh, he plays as a number 6, a number 8, or a number 10." He never mentioned he plays as a number 11, did he? When he's played there the last 3 games. So what's all that about?
Davey, the Sunderland fans are crying out left, right, and centre. Get him in the middle.
Did he mention he plays on the wing? He didn't, did he?
Not once.
6, 8, or a 10, and I prefer him as a 10. So what do we do? We don't play him there, and he's out on the wing. Wasted. Totally wasted.
We've got to swap. Whoever is playing in Lafay's place, they've got to swap it round because that lad's quality, and he's getting wasted out there on the wing.
Well, if we play 4-3-3, he's one of the 3.
Well, yeah.
So he would play essentially play in Riggs' position. Because he'll not play in Bellingham's position or Dan Nails, will he?
No.
So he only leaves Rigg. And if we play 4-2-3-1, he's one of the 3 again.
Davey,
he'd be the one behind Isidore.
I'm going to catch up on the chat. We've got 50 people viewing. Yeah. That's a good show for Monday. God, there is that many messages. I just want to say thanks to everybody. The messages are flooding in, Davey. We're getting more and more every week. Going to say hello to Stephen Martin, hello to David Walker, David Joblin, Richard Wennick, Maverick Loggins. Good evening to the member Ken Walton. Steve Taylor's in. How are you doing? Stevie Taylor. He says, good evening, guys. Disappointing on Saturday, but keep the faith on to Borough. We go on Monday. Hello to Jerry Little Dweller. Andrew Moore, hello. He says, hello, gents. Saturday, they got it badly wrong. Maverick Loggins says, right on, Davey. David Walker says, just had that feeling when we took Isidore off for Hielda. They would sneak one, then boom, it happened. And I think, David, you and I think every single Sunderland fan with Sunderland in their veins thought exactly the same. Pixel says, need a Leeds Burnley 0-0 tonight, ideally. I think Leeds is going to turn Burnley away, but here we go.
Let me keep a check on the score, Cabby.
The score, yeah, good seconds. 0-0, 14 minutes gone. Oh, Burnley are at home. I thought Leeds were.
No, Burnley's home.
It's 0-0. Tony Huntington, hello. He says, hi guys. Was the team set up down to Regis Lebrie's lack of experience in the AFL, or as many say, down to Dodds? If so, is Regis Lebrie really in charge? And that came across where you mentioned something about his Speakman getting involved, because it does seem absolutely weird.
I just can't see the logic in playing that lad when he did, when he's never had a sniff.
No.
And it wasn't the player we needed in that team.
It's such a vital game like that when the door of opportunity's opened and we've got the chance to close up and get amongst the pack again. Start the lad that's never played for us.
I know.
You know.
And you've got to get players in the box when you're playing the bottom of the league team. They're sitting with 5 at the back, and we've got 1 who's going in the box. They must be thinking, "Wow, this is great." This.
We could have crossed the ball all day, and we practically did, and it was just so easy to deal with.
Aye, you see, we put loads of crosses in, but they were too late because we took that long to get the cross in. They're all set up at the back.
Oh, it was.
Cabby, you've got to move the ball quickly. You've got to move it quickly, and we'll just slowly side to side, give it to Samhead, back to the centre off. Knock the Samhead, back to the... It was terrible, man.
I mean, it's all right playing like that if you're a goal to the good and there's only 3 minutes to go.
And you're playing Leeds.
Mm-hmm.
We're not Plymouth.
Absolutely. And the fact, like... I don't know. It was just so damn frustrating.
I watch a lot of football, right? I watch a lot of football. I will actually tell you.
2 seconds, Davey. I'm just going to see if you talk. Back in a second. Carry on, Davey. What you were going to say? Just carry on, mate. The viewers are listening.
Yeah, I watch a lot of football. When I looked at that team sheet, the only 2 players I'd heard of was Barry Mumba, because he used to play for us, and that Hardy up front. And the rest of them, I'd never even heard of them.
Look, guys, Mommy's going to put your TV programs on, darling. I'm back.
Yeah.
So yeah, where were we? Yeah, by the time we came forward, it was too late. I mean, what chance have you got putting the ball into the box?
Quickly, especially against the low block.
Yeah.
You've just got to move it quickly. Whether it breaks down, you start again. But you've got to move it quickly, otherwise they're just sitting and let you play in front of them, aren't you?
Well, what chance have you got, Davey? The ball gets pumped into the box. There's 11 players in the box against 2 of ours. What chance have you got?
There's not even 2 of ours. There's only Easton all front. Job never got forward. Dan Neil got forward once, and he had a shot from outside the box. But there was no else was that. They had more chances than us.
How are you supposed to seriously challenge for the top 2? We're putting in performances like that.
You're making it hard for yourself, aren't you? I mean, I'm not as, you know me, I'm not as doom and gloom as you. It's still only 1 game. And I fancy us against any of the good sides because they come out to play, gives us more room. Sunderland's hopeless against the low block. We haven't got a target man. We haven't got somebody just to bang it up now and to fade off. No. We haven't got that man.
The frustrating thing is, Dave, why it's hard for us is because we're playing catch-up. And unfortunately, we've got to beat one of them lower league teams, especially when the other teams above us slip up. Yeah. Because we're playing catch-up.
But we're still in the mix, Cabby. Didn't doubt yourself there.
I don't know. Know.
We are.
If
someone went on in the next 4 games, you'd be saying, oh, there, what's happening here? It could happen.
If that happens, Davey, I'll come and do you a gardening naked for the next year.
Aye. That's because you didn't think we'll beat the likes of Watford and Luton, do you, at home? That's the problem.
I know we'll not beat Middlesbrough at Riverside. We never do.
Well, you never know. I think we've got more chance of beating Middlesbrough than what we did of beating Plymouth. Middlesbrough come out to play. Middlesbrough will give us some space.
Too many missed chances, too many draws, and I keep looking back at the fixtures and thinking like, well, I'm amazed how close we are to the top two with so many below performance results.
Too many draws.
I don't know. Wait there a second, my daughter's shouting, she doesn't understand. I've got to put the telly on for her. Sing us a song, Davey.
Oh, can there be any nice singing?
I can't do any more, darling. Seriously. Kids. None of the other Sun and YouTubers have this problem when they're live, do they? Dear me. We'll try it again. What I did notice as well is Plymouth looked the more dangerous scoring when they did have that rare attack than what we did. I mean, in all fairness,
when they brought that giant on, 6'9", I thought, oh my god, here.
Well, they should have scored in the second half when he was clean through when he hit the post.
Aye.
You know,
if the game had gone on another 5 minutes, Sunderland would have lost. It was just frustrating. I mean, when we went 2-1 in front, I started to believe. I thought, we're going to go and get a third and fourth and kill these off here. I thought, this is it. We've turned the corner now. Yeah.
And did you see? I don't know if you noticed, but the reaction of the Sunderland fans when Plymouth equalised 2-2, they were holding the caps and the programmes and the scarves on. They were furious. Absolutely furious. Ah, dear me.
No, that was, like you say, self-inflicted, that performance, like, by you set up the team he picked.
But the thing is though, Davey, it's like the standard is just so good, especially the top two in the Championship, right? Sunderland cannot keep fluffing the lines. They cannot keep missing chances, and we should never have missed 2 penalties. And where's our experienced striker? We should have really got one in the summer transfer window, for heaven's sake. We still haven't got one.
No.
Do you know what I mean? Well,
the 2 strikers gone.
How many weeks are we going to keep on saying this? It's like we've got to improve. We can't stop missing these chances and stuff, but it doesn't seem to get better.
Well, we've got to bring a striker in.
We've got to do something.
Well, yeah, you've got to. What if Isidore got injured? We might as well just put the padlock on the gates and go home.
It's like Sunderland at the minute. They seem to be like, all they seem to be capable of is win, draw, loss, win, draw, win, draw, win, draw, loss, win, draw, loss. It's like we need to get 4 wins on the bounce to really push ourselves into the pack of the top 2. And I just don't think we're capable of doing that, Davey. I don't think we're capable of putting 4 wins together because we're just too inconsistent. Regis LeBrie doesn't seem to know, as you say, what formation to play when and what. We haven't got that recognised striker. We have too many players having an off day. Luke O'Nien had a terrible game. I mean,
Yeah.
And what?
And you look at your Leeds and your Burnleys, right?
Yep.
Before I even put the lineups up, I know exactly who's playing where. Especially Leeds team. It's the same 11 every week.
Yeah. And do you know what? You were right. You says, I bet you he starts Roberts at the Stadium of Light. And he was. He was on.
So, yeah. Always plays him at home. Always. And I thought he was stinking like.
It just worries me, right? And I don't understand how it's happening. The beginning of the season, nobody could score past us. We were solid. These last few months, especially the last 5 minutes of a game, we seem to be flapping like mad at the back. And it always seems to be the same sort of goal that gets us. The ball gets pumped into our box. The ball flees around in the 18-yard box or the 6-yard box like a pinball machine, right? We have about 4 or 5 attempts to clear the ball. Yeah. We'll either mishit it, do a really weak-ass header. The ball comes back in and eventually they score. And that's exactly how Plymouth did at the equaliser. We had chances to clear it and we just made an absolute pig's ash of it, man.
Did you hear Marco's excuse to you when you mentioned that? He says, I know, but we're an inexperienced team and our players are very naive.
Man.
That's rubbish because O'Nien and MACKEM are the 2 most experienced players in the whole side.
And Patterson's got to start opening his mouth. I'm not saying he's got to come out for every single ball, but standing there like a Toby jug digging out.
Cabbie, I'm a big Pato fan. I do like him, but I thought he had a nightmare on Saturday. He looked like, I've watched the highlights, and every time the camera went onto his face, he looked like he was watching a horror movie. He looked absolutely petrified of the whole day.
They were petrified at Plymouth?
Aye. Patterson was just terrified to come out. I didn't know if you've seen that one where Luke O'Nien was facing his own goal and he brought it down on his chest. And he waited like ages for Patterson to come out just to pick it up, and the crowd were going, pick it up, man, pick it up. And it took him ages.
I know exactly what you're on about. And that happened a few times, not with O'Nien. Aye.
The first half, and I thought, wait, pick it up. Oh, I couldn't believe it.
When the ball came into our box, it was like the ball turned into a hand grenade. We didn't want. We're trying to run away from the thing.
Well, how many times did we get a head behind it and head it out? Never seen it yet. It was always like 2 or 3 like headers in one box, if you know what I mean.
Aye.
Nobody ever headed it away.
But we've seen loads of us conceding goals like that, Davey.
Aye.
You know what I mean? It's like, if you're going to head the ball, get some power behind it. Luke O'Nien's header, God, I could have had more power having a fart out my arse. It was like, what was that?
It just seemed like the whole day went like a punishment for the setup. Just a punishment for the way we set up and how lackadaisical we played that game.
Do you think it didn't help that the fact that the expectations of us to win that game was so high, there was pressure on the lads, or do you think they should be able to deal with that?
The professionals, a professional footballer should be sitting there thinking, well, I'd rather be playing these than playing Liverpool, wouldn't you?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, hey. We just didn't want to get people forward. We didn't put them under pressure. We looked like we could be conceding any time. Oh, it was just a horrendous day. Horrendous.
Aye, it was. And I bet you thought when you were at the stadium, you're like, MACKEM CABBIE, he's right. He was doubting before the game. Even though I said 4 now, but I had me doubts, didn't I?
I wouldn't have minded if we went there and Plymouth would give us a game and they were on the front foot and they were like having a go at us. You'd think, well, we'll have to cope with it. But that game was there for the taking because Plymouth didn't want to attack at any stage until the last 15 minutes.
Steve, we're going to catch up on some messages, Davey.
Yeah, come on.
Stephen Martin, hello. It says, question, guys. Why do players choose other teams over UK when we are the bigger club?
What does he mean by that?
possible. Why do other players choose other teams over the UK when we are the bigger club? I think he's on about possible the likes of Hull have just signed a player. You know, why has he gone to Hull and not us and this and that and the other? And, you know, why do players choose to go to Sheffield United rather than Sunderland, like the likes of Cannon and wages and money?
Simple as that, wages.
With a few cards, says Maverick. Sitting back too much, says David Joblin. Please like and subscribe. Thanks, Kingfisher. One way ticket, Dave says, how much of it was Regi, or is it his number 2? There's still a lot of Sunderland fans saying is it his number 2 and all that, but it's got to be a concoction of everything, hasn't it? They're all working together.
I mean, your DC's number 2 having a word with him a lot, like.
I know. Kingfisher says, looking smart, Davey. Had a haircut.
Haircut and shave, by.
Shave.
You know, I thought, you know, get ready for the run-in.
Colin Majors.
The next time I have a shave, Cabbie, is the next time we lose a game. So hopefully I'm like Santa Claus come May.
You'd be like, our lass. She's not listening, I hope. Colin Major's in the house. Hello to Colin Major. He says, our Davey for next manager. His Regis blamed everything else but himself.
He did. He never owned that performance or team selection, did he?
No.
He blamed the players. I couldn't believe it.
Oh, yeah. Well, he's lost a lot of popularity points with the Sunderland fans after that game. You know what I mean? And he's got a lot of popularity points because he's had a fantastic season so far, and he has. But
I just couldn't get his logic for changing it. Why didn't he just do what we've been doing for the last 28 games?
It's a pity Total Sport couldn't get him on, isn't it? Tonight.
Well, I'll tell you now what it's here. It's the process.
The process. I agree with Davey, 100%, says one way ticket. He says, hope Davey is sitting behind Reggie at the next match. Right. Peter Wynn, Lee Catamall fan, how are you? He says, we are Sunderland. He says, the only way is to panic. That's what happens when you invite them on, isn't it? You know, why wasn't the player up the other end of the field? Why is it always coming at us? Do you know what I mean? Again, it's Plymouth of all teams. And why couldn't we play the keep possession football? Get it up the other end of the pitch.
Why? You know? Yeah, Cabbie, why did he bring Helder on?
Oh, did you hear the groan when he came on?
Well, what do you expect? You know what? You know the end of that game. We finished with 4 centre-halves.
That's ridiculous.
Against the bottom of the league team. 4 centre-halves. We should have finished with 4 centre-forwards.
Well, understand it against the Leeds or a Burnley or a Sheffield United.
Aye.
But the minute we took the lead, Isidore's coming off.
Well, he was blown out his arse like Isidore.
Was he?
But he's blown like hell. You didn't see all the work he puts on when the cameras is not on him.
I tell you what.
He runs.
He enjoyed his goal, though, didn't he?
You could have brought him off and just shoved Meander up top and put Al-Shish on. You could have done a lot of things. You'd have been better off putting Ballard up top for the last 10 minutes. If he's going to play 4 centre-halves, how many does he want?
A lot of Sunderland fans have been saying about that Samed. It's like just sending him back now to where his club where he came from. He's not going to be missed. Some might say.
I thought we'd loan Jay Matete out. Sideways, backwards. He didn't play one through ball, did he? The whole game.
It was just horrible watching. It was horrible watching. Green Webb says, have you heard we are in for the Arsenal under-23 fullback, Pat Key? Is there a joke? Pat Key? I don't know. No. Unless that's a joke. I don't get it if it is a joke. Hello, SJ. You recognise SJ, Davey, didn't you?
Yeah, well, he's on every forum.
He is. Samed shouldn't have played from the start. He says, yes, he needs fitness, but this was the wrong game. Should have kept Neil where he was. The tactics were all wrong. And I think that's why he believes us the fact, like, is there a clause, the reason why we had to play him?
I know. It's frightening, like, isn't it?
As you say, Davey, if he wants to get his fitness up, put him in the under-21s. He can play every week.
Right.
Peter Wynn says, yes, Job and Roberts aren't consistent enough. I thought Roberts and Job had one of the worst games they've had.
I thought Job looked a bit lost, like.
Mm-hmm.
He just didn't. I think he was annoyed at the setup that day. I honestly did. Because Job likes to bomb on and get forward. Well, the sitting was such a low block. You haven't got any space to run into from midfield, have you?
Yeah. Basically, it was like, look, and I'll speak English, and they've just been given loads of bits of paper. We're Bangladeshi language. They were all looking puzzled. What do I do with this? What do I do? They look lost. They look puzzled. They're like, well, whatever. The communication was gone. Everything was just unrecognisable. Yeah. You know what I mean? And some Sunderland fans say when he did change it to 4-4-2, Sunderland looked even worse.
Well, we were worse.
You know, why was that? Is it because he's just changed it around too much? The players don't know where they are.
Well, 4-4-2 is a hard system to work anyway.
Aye.
It is hard, especially late in the game when the players are tired.
So he would have been better off starting with that.
Aye. But no, you want Enzo in the middle. He's wasted on the wing. Totally wasted.
There's got to be a reason.
He gets past people on the wing, doesn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Beats the fullback all the time. Beats the fullback. There's nobody in the box. There's only Isidore in the box.
There's got to be a reason, Davey, why he's not putting him in the middle.
He's putting up an Enzo in the middle so he can thread balls through for Isidore to run into through the lines so he can run onto balls instead of hoping like a cross comes over. That's what the defenders want them to attack wide, didn't they?
What do you think the reason is, Davey? He's not then. What's he not doing it for?
I'd love to ask him. I don't know. He told us he was a 6, an 8, or a 10. He never once said, "Oh, but when he comes here, he'll be number 11 and he'll play on the left wing." What's all that about? I
don't know. It's just so frustrating. Catch up on more of the chat. Cheers, Kingfisher. Please like and subscribe. Where have I got? There's that many. Honestly, I've never known so many messages flying in.
How many's watching?
There's up to 50 on at the minute, and that is really good considering there's a really big game of football Leeds on at the minute. So hats off to people who's in the chat tonight.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah, Peter Wynn says, for one-way ticket, says Samed must have a clause to have so many starts, shouldn't be near the first team. David Walker says, big weekend ahead, we need at least 2 or 3 players in. Kingfisher says, went to the match, too many side passing from the back, Lafee should have been in the middle. You know what I mean? And, you know, and he still thinks we're missing the likes of Mundle and all. And when's he gonna be bloody back?
He's got to be back. He's got to be back for them 2 home games, surely.
Has to be. One-way tickets. Like I know that. One-way ticket says drop Rig and Labrie should have been straight in. Mienda on the wing. Sorry, Lafee. He says the one-way ticket. Where was Mienda? Says Kingfisher. SGS says, sick of conceding in the last 10 minutes. The only way we get away with this if we're a few goals up. Not going to happen if we don't take our chances. I mean, how many times, not just with Regis Labrie, have we seen from a winning position the manager guns in a defensive mode? It never works, Davey.
I know.
It never works.
I'm going to give you a stat here. You might have heard it. I didn't have to. How many goals do you think Burnley's conceded after the 60th minute?
2.
Burnley, how many goals have they conceded after the 60th minute of the game? All season.
2 goals?
1.
Seriously?
1 goal. I think we've conceded 11 or 13 or something like that.
What's the difference, David? What's the difference?
That makes a difference, doesn't it?
But what do you think the difference is? You know, experience from being in the Premier League, more calmer. I don't know.
you listen to Burnley fans on the podcast and they hate watching Burnley.
Oh, dear me. Maverick says yes. Lafie in the middle. SJ, Lafie is only playing on the wing because Mundell isn't fit. Ashish should have carried on playing there. Paul Graham says, where's Rosie these days?
What about Lafie there?
Yeah.
Can you tell me any other team, either Premier League or Championship, that moves their best player into an unfamiliar role rather than play them in their best position?
There's only one person who knows that, and that's...
What do you think what Salah would say if they said, we're going to play you on the left? He'd tell them to bugger off, wouldn't he?
Oh, massively.
We play Lafie on the left when he's played a number 10, an 8 or a 6 all his career. I just can't get my head round it.
It's driving the Sunderland fans crackers, Dave.
It is driving me crackers.
The answer's there staring at you.
You play your best players in their best position and then you work a team round them.
Do you think it's maybe he doesn't want to upset some of his other players by swapping them round?
I just didn't know. I just can't get any logic out of the team selection, full stop. So I'm trying to work out what he's... I don't know. He baffled me on Saturday. He annoyed us anyway.
It was just so frustrating. There was a decent crowd there and all. And
they were getting behind the lads, pushing them on.
I know. I'm just glad to see the back of Plymouth. I really am. I'm glad to see the back of them. Not being nasty towards them, but do you know what I mean? That's... Oh, God's sake. Colin Major says, I think we'll beat... You what, Davey?
You normally say that about Coventry. We've still got them to play yet.
Aye, tell us about it. But if Sunderland are wanting top 2, they've got to overcome these hoodoos.
Oh, yeah.
They've got to do it. They've got no choice. Colin Major says, I think we'll beat the Smoggies because we have a point to prove. Of course...
To beating Borough. I haven't been impressed with Borough.
Well, they lost against Preston 2-1.
Did you not see that goal? The Portsmouth winning goal?
I didn't know.
Oh, CABBIE. Watch it and you'll forgive all of Sunderland's defending for the whole season.
Right, I'll watch it. It's when they lost 2-1, isn't it?
Aye, watch it. Watch it when you come up here and text us and I bet you all laughs. It's
right.
Horrendous.
I'll have a look at that. I'm looking forward to seeing that.
Aye.
SJ says 7 days to prove that we wanted to go for it. Even if we miss out on top 2, at least we have decent players in for the complete lottery of the playoffs. He says the sooner we get Mundell back, the better. MACKEM says we have conceded 9 goals in the 90th minute plus so far this season. I mean, that's just not on, is it? David Graham says Burnley Leeds now on Sky. Then it's the big Teesweed derby a week tonight. These could decide who might go up automatically. Saying that, I think it's the playoffs now. And there's more Sunderland fans saying it's the playoffs. With Sunderland they're just fluffing the lines too much. They're missing. There's too many games.
If the players think the fans think it's just the playoffs, it might be the kick up the arse that they need to get their fingers out and go for it. Because there's still plenty of points to play for.
There is. It just seems Sunderland seem to struggle getting them points.
No.
When it just seems to be the case. It's David Walker says striker, left back and right winger needed. John Nesbitt says evening gents. Yes, and it's still 0-0 between Burnley and Leeds. I'll just check. I think that's got every case of finishing 0-0. That you know.
No, well, it's Burnley's favourite score, isn't it?
It is. SJ says, did Patterson go straight down the tunnel at the end of the game? Apparently he went down there sharpish when he was embarrassed about conceding that last minute goal. I don't know. Well, there's nothing he could have done about that goal. I mean, it was a thunderbolt into the top corner from close range, wasn't it? Yeah. But certainly leading up to that goal, I thought Pato could have asserted himself a bit more.
Yeah, he looked lost all game, didn't he?
He did.
He looked over. You know what it is? He looked overweight on Saturday more than I've ever known. Weird, isn't it?
He didn't seem to have that spring in his step, did he?
No, he looked overweight. He looked knackered.
Steve Taylor says, as I said on Friday, guys, I was at work on Saturday, but listening tonight, it sounds as if We were a team of strangers, which
Aye.
is very, very strange. And you said something similar, Davey, didn't you? It's like they're all lost.
Yeah, they were. I mean, Bellingham had the worst game he's had this season, by far. He just done nothing, did he?
Tony Huntington says he agrees with Steve. John Nesbitt says, I watch on Saturday a complete incompetent performance. What a load of garbage. Is Dan Neil overrated? O'Nien useless? Always a mistake in him. Neil and O'Nien just turn up with the boots knowing that they are playing. And that's from John Nesbitt. Stevie Cook's in the house. He says, all right, my old school pal Davey.
Stevie Cook from Castleview.
He says, all right, my old school pal Davey.
Stevie Cook. Bexhill Stevie Cook.
I think that was the lad that sent me the photograph for you.
Aye, Bexhill Stevie Cook, aye.
Aye.
Good on you, son. Good with the ball.
Aye, Stevie Cook, I think he was... I think he knows me. He used to know my father as well. I'm sure. He used to say. He said to me, he says, "I'd see that Davey was a scrapper at school."
I asked him if it's the one with the football.
Is it the one with the football, Davey? Says Steve.
Whatever Arsenal stripped on.
Aye. And Stevie Cook says, like I said yesterday, Isidore was making runs all game, and Neil and Bellingham passing it sideways. Sean Russell says, just joined Cabbie, and the burning question is, I think on everyone's lips is, are we going to buy a striker? We need a striker. Where is that striker?
Imagine if we had a big striker to hold on. Second half, like, might have made a difference, mightn't it?
Why? It's like the big bloke they brought on for Plymouth. Did you see the size of him?
Aye, 6'9" he is.
Bloody hell.
So what does that make him if Luke O'Nien's fine?
Need chance. We need Lafay in Bellingham's position, says Stevie Cook. Yes, Sean Russell says, Nouts each Burnley leads. Steve Martin says, as said to Cabbie, if we don't go up this season, it has to be automatics next season, no buts. And I've heard a few Sunderland fans saying, maybe Sunderland need another season in this division to just make sure we get properly primed. That the fact, like, we're there, but we're just not quite ready yet.
If we don't go up this season, we'll have a new team next season, won't we?
Well, that's just a never-ending circle, Davey, isn't it?
Bellingham will not be here. Rig will not be here. They'll be sold.
You know, how are you supposed to get from... So basically what you're saying is you only get one chance.
Aye.
When you've got a decent side.
With the squad, aye. Will Bellingham still be here? Will Rigg still be here? Will Meckham still be here? Will Isidore still be here? It's all in the melting pot, isn't it?
It's a big ask, isn't it? I mean, because, you know, it's... Even just thinking Sunderland going into the Premier League next season, it's like...
The fee wouldn't be here unless we're going up.
Aye. Well...
That's a guarantee.
If Sunderland are wanting to go up, as Gilesy and Stevie says, they need to pull the finger out the backsides now, and Regis Debris needs to sort it out right now and stop all these crappy goals we're giving away, stop playing defensive, and if we want to go up, then we need to start making a good, proper job of it and putting these teams to bed and show the fans that they're wanting to go up. Not
Gary,
these...
would you bring Ballard back in now?
I would, yeah.
No, I wouldn't, like.
Absolutely.
I think he's vital, like, for heading the ball out.
He is.
He's our best header. He's our best header at the club.
Right. Well, he scored a few with his head and all.
Right. Well, he nearly scored at the death, didn't he? The ball got put through and he just didn't get his tournament.
Oh, that was against...
Yeah, that was the other date. Against Plymouth.
He did it. He did it against Bristol City and all.
Exactly the same attack.
John Nesbitt says, Mundle and Lafay into middle, drop Dan, Boring, Neil, Rigg in his place, Mienda in for Roberts. Tony Huntington says, we get a lot of injuries, let a lot if late goals is this down to fitness. Kingfisher says, swap Pato out as well. Sean Russell says, Burnley, Plymouth games were the nail in the coffin for automatic place. And there's a few fans...
I mean, the late goals thing could have a lot down to that. We didn't make any substitutions, do we?
No.
So we've got like heavy legs late in the game where you look at all the other teams, your Leeds, your Burnleys, your Sheffield Uniteds, they all use the 5 subs.
Well,
every game, I've looked at it. They all use the 5 subs.
Well, you've heard the saying, isn't it? It's insanity doing something wrong but continuously doing the same thing over and over again.
Yeah.
And that's what we seem to be doing. He doesn't seem to be learning from it, does he?
No. And I wasn't very happy with his interview on Saturday, like blaming the players, saying we didn't manage the game properly. He didn't manage to start the game properly.
So do you think that's what it is then, Davey? Come the last few minutes of the game, Sunderland the fuel tanks are running on empty.
I would no fake because we don't make any subs. There's many a time in our CABBIE, we play games one after another where we say one sub. And you've got all the other teams that make the 5. Always do. It's fresh legs, isn't it?
It is. SJ says, I'd rather Leeds won. Let them win the league. It'll put 3 of us in a battle for second, hopefully. Steve Cook says,
or a draw. I didn't want Burnley winning.
No. So far it's 0-0, which is the result we need.
That's half time then.
Yeah, it's half time. Steve Cook says Pato should have came and caught the ball before 09 headed it, but made a magnificent save when he touched it onto the post. Yeah, look, he's a great shot stopper, Pato, but he's just not very good at the minute of commanding his box when we're under pressure.
Oh, his kicking's getting worse.
His kicking's getting worse. That's often getting mentioned. His kicking, isn't it?
That one where he kicked it straight to that player who's outside the box.
Yeah.
And he just got back to block it.
But you see him do that nearly every game, Dave.
He does. Kicking's terrible. And he looks terrified when the ball's coming to him, doesn't he?
Aye, he does, aye. Hello, Packer. Andrew says, hi, boys. I streamed the match and I went on such a rant I was going off it. I think everybody was, to be honest with you, Packer. Tony Hunton says, off to work. Good, my man of the match fans for putting up with that garbage. Enjoy your shift, Tony. Thanks for popping in. Steve Cook says, Bexhill, great times, Davey. And yup, was a Gary Glitter with your dad?
I was a Gary Glitter fan.
Were you really?
Oh, big fan. Me haversack. Your haversack at school.
Aye.
All done in glitter with Gary Glitter's name on. I was hopeless. Gary Glitter, of all the people to pick, I'd have been better off picking Jimmy Savile.
Or Rolf Harris, even.
Oh,
aye. You want to be in my gang, Davey, yeah? Fantastic.
I went to see him in City Hall. Gary Glitter.
Did you? Well, nobody knew, did we? Nobody knew. It was normal.
I thought he was a good lad. Yeah, Gary Glitter.
Pixel Rich says, lads, I'm of the opinion that you are never ready for the Premiership. That's just such a tricky one, isn't it? Because the league is so difficult. That Premier League is so harsh. It's like proper jumping into the Thunderdome, that, and into the Premier League. My God, is it?
It's a different world, right?
Oh, completely.
But it can be done, because look at Bournemouth, man. They're absolutely amazing, huh?
Oh, well, to sweep aside the on-form team in the Premier League of Nottingham Forest, 5-0.
Aye. And well, good for it now.
Aye, no, they were. They watched them play the Mags. They played them off the park in Newcastle.
Aye. Yeah, and they're like good players you've never heard of, aren't they?
Yeah.
Well, from him from Sunderland who didn't kick a ball. For us, they made one.
Aye, you know. Colin Major says, if we don't go up this season, do you think KLD will put us up for sale? Look, I mean, if we didn't go up this season, it's going to open a load of can of worms, a load of different options for everything, isn't it?
Will Regis still be aiding and that, yeah?
Well, you didn't. But we got our hopes built up, didn't we, when Lafay got brought in? It was done so quick. I mean, even you were saying, it looks like KLD's really wanting to gun for it, getting this promotion done and dusted.
I mean, it's still a wait to gun, for the window, so you didn't know what they've got lined up. They could surprise us with a top signing yet.
Would it be disappointing if Sunderland didn't get an experienced striker?
Aye, definitely aye. We definitely need a striker, because what if Isidore got injured? But I'm telling you now, if we'd had more Salah playing on Saturday, we still would have lost.
Not with that setup, absolutely.
Aye. Honestly, the setup is massive in football. Massive.
The most experienced man on the pitch to do that job's the manager, or the coach.
Aye. Yeah.
But
He's got it wrong. I would have felt more of him if he'd just come out and said, look, lads, I'm getting it wrong. It's all down to me.
I just want to know why he did what he did. I want to know why he did it. I cannot understand it.
I cannot. I didn't know what he's trying to get out of the game, like by playing that way, using that system, playing Samed, who's. Oh.
Maybe he was gone for the point. Maybe he would have been. He was happy with the point. I mean,
you can't be, man.
You know, some fans have said, well, Sunderland didn't lose. They're still unbeaten at the Stadium of Light in the season.
Oh, I mean, it was a in the end, it was a point game because we should have lost it.
Absolutely. SGS says people saying we need another season in this league are mad. He says we lose a load of players. It's not good. That's why a lot of fans are panicking. We won't get a better chance to go up.
He's right.
Well, you are right, SG.
This is a hell of a chance to get up. Hell of a chance.
But we keep getting these chances, Davey, and we're not taking them.
I know.
2-0 up against Coventry, penalties against Burnley, last minute goals we keep letting in. It's like, you know, how many opportunities do they want, like?
Right.
You know?
I know. But we're still in there boxing.
Oh, of course it is.
Move on, Cabbie. Get this game out your mind. It's gone now. Move on to the next one.
All it needs is, what's going to happen, is either Leeds or maybe it's Burnley to lost 2 in the bounce, because it's not impossible.
No.
It's not impossible.
If we beat Middlesbrough, you'll say we've had a good fortnight, wouldn't you? Because we just won 3 off the trot, haven't we? Or 2.
Middlesbrough?
I'm saying if we beat Middlesbrough, we'll be unbeaten since the new year.
That's right, yeah. Apart from the FA Cup, which doesn't really count.
I didn't count that.
Maureen Johnson, hello Maureen. Leeds 0-0 at half time. Yeah, Neil Dipper says it's scary to think if we lose those players you mentioned, Cabbie, where would we end up? Yes, John Smiles says 0-0 half time. Leeds, Mackemanth, we have let in 9 goals in the 90th minute plus mins, more than tiredness to me. Can't see KLD selling unless we go up, says SJ. John Nesbitt says I sit in the West Stand and watch the dugout. Dodds was in the ear of the coach. Where's the new lad? Dodds out, he says. John Nesbitt also goes and says, if a French job comes up, I think link the coach, Regis Lebrioud, on his bike. Packer Andrew says, Cabbie, what I'm afraid of is our manager doesn't blast our players. He says, I just want our manager to leave. He's useless, says the Packer Andrew. Well, he was after that game. Steve Cook says, that's football. Why you don't win the coupon might be a good point in the end.
Yeah.
Sean Russell says, same on Sunderland though, Cabbie. Tale of toward end of season never fails. He says, I really hope we do go up, but it will be playoffs without a shadow of a doubt. Kingfisher says, we get few players back, go on the run. It's all changed, keep the faith. Please like and subscribe, cheers. SGS says, Lebris could go get another job in the French league before us, so I doubt it. Maureen Johnson says, if the whistle blows at 76 minutes, SAFC would be top of the league with room to spare.
Yeah.
So we've got 2 minutes then. We've got 2 minutes. Let's do... I want people in the chat, what's your prediction for the Middlesbrough game? Davey, before we do the prediction, I'll let the chat do the predictions first. Which way do you think would you like to see us set up against Borough then?
Against Borough, let's think about Borough play. I'll go 4-2-3-1, the way Borough play.
Yeah.
And I would play Enzo as one of the 3. And I would bring Ballard back. I'm sorry, but I would bring him back for that game.
Are you confident?
And I think we'll win 1-0.
You think it'll be 1-0?
1-0. Isidore.
They've had a funny season, Borough, haven't they? They've put a few wins together and then they've
had some really good performances and some shockers.
They have, aye.
They're very inconsistent.
Steve Taylor says 2-0 to the lads. SJ says 1-1. Sean Russell says another draw. John Nesbitt says get beat off Borough for sure. MACKEM says another 2-2, a 2-2 draw again for me. Kingfisher says 3-2 Sunderland. John Smiles says 1-0 Sunderland. One way ticket. Dave says 0-0. A lot of draws coming through. Would you be happy with a point, Davey? We've got to turn these points. 17 games left. We've got to turn these points into 3.
I would have been very, very happy with a point.
Aye.
But I think we've got to beat them now, like to get rid of that Plymouth result.
Neil Dipper says 2-1 the lads. Steve Cook, he says never doubt at the Borough, but we are due. Lafay behind Isidore and Melendez. If Borough beat us, says SJ, that's it. Prepare for the playoffs, says SJ. If Borough beat us. The Packer Andrew says, I've lost faith in our manager. He needs a blast himself. Sunderland 3, Middlesbrough 1. John Ruddock says 2-1 Sunderland. So nobody's saying we're going to get beat, but there is a few draws.
But
it's 9 o'clock.
9 o'clock, son. Time to go.
Dog walkies.
Yeah.
Dave,
it flew by again.
Have you enjoyed it?
Aye, well, yeah, I love it, man.
Aye. Just thanks to everybody in the chat. We've still got 61 people in.
Everybody who's tuned in and watched the show, thank you very much. It's much appreciated.
It is, aye. Especially with Leeds playing. Alan Ryan says 2-1 to Sunderland. But thanks, everybody, for tuning in tonight. It does mean a lot.
Right, cheers, son. See you later, Cabby.
Take care, Davey. Thanks, mate.
Yeah, son.
It's all right. So there we go. I just want to say thanks for everybody. Off on another Jolly Friday again. We'll watch the live stream from my Spain hotel next Monday again. Woof woof, John. Steve Cook, great show, lads. Glad to see it live. Thanks, Steve, for popping in. Thanks for everybody for tuning in. We're getting more and more viewers every time we do the Monday night show. And honestly, it means the world to me and Davey. It just means so much. Thanks for everybody for showing your appreciation and taking your time to watch the show. So, but stay tuned. There'll be more videos from myself when I hear some news of anything happening, and we'll be doing another MACKEM, CABBIE and Davey show on Friday. So enjoy your Monday night, and once again, thanks for every single